So, do y'all think that Disney was more upset at that church who was doing the Jesus version of Hamilton for like doing a Jesus version of Hamilton that bashed on gay people, or the fact that like they didn't get the rights to Hamilton first and they're just mad that their songs are being used?
So yeah, I mean, I think that they probably are madder that they already have whatever that Christian movie studio is. They already definitely have like a founding fathers play lined up, or a founding fathers movie lined up that's like gonna have them all sitting praying right before Cornwallis walks in and goes, "Oh, the Lord told me to come and surrender." And so that y'all can found a beautiful country based on democracy and establish rule of law and a police force. And I back the blue, not the red coats.
Oh, I see.
I can't wait for the rap version of the Mormon retelling of America.
We're not ready for it. We're not ready for what's that Christian white rapper NF? The NF version of the Mormon founding. Yeah.
Yeah, you know why NF is now the Christian rapper? Because Lecrae was black and spoke up about black liberation, and the church was like, "Well, we don't talk about the racism of the Southern Baptist brethren."
Oh, you want us to let
Yeah,
your
well,
people
you know.
go? What?
Aww.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I am Zach, he, they.
I'm Artemis. She, her.
I'm Kelton, he, him. Happy National Psychiatric Technician Appreciation Day, everyone. I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
And that's why you're talking to your local psychiatric technician.
I'm talking to my local my local psychiatric twerknician to try and acquire a mental prescription for menthol cigarettes. It's medicinal.
It's
Mental health is
Mental
important.
health.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, God.
I do like the idea of like someone being like, well, we can't pay the psychiatric technicians more. What if we give them a bullshit holiday? Huh? Yeah. Seems to work with everything else. Let's do that.
Let's give you a Tuesday in August. That sounds about right. Right before school goes back in.
You see, don't break kayfabe.
Oh, Wednesday in August. That's right, because you're listening to this basically live.
Yes, and not next Wednesday. That's
certainly
for
not.
And speaking of, everyone's mental health, Trump is back in the news. The Democrats have finally did it. We finally broke them enough to force their hand. They've sent the FBI in to raid Trump's
it was
compound.
Definitely the Democrats who did it, not the Trump-appointed new director of the FBI that did it.
They raided his compound ranch / nuclear silo.
Yep.
I'm sorry. They raided his country clubhouse.
One very openly in the open.
And the one in the open that he publicly is at all the time.
Publicly has done the crimes. Allegedly, but also
allegedly publicly did the crime.
Allegedly publicly on camera.
Also the place where he accidentally lost the nuclear football for a moment.
Yeah. Oh man, think about like the highlights that happened.
The world could have ended in that building.
Mar-a-Lago. That's what I have to say.
The latest breaking news from this is apparently the federal court has ruled that the House committee can access Trump's tax records. We got him, folks. We got him.
Oh shit! This time, 100% for sure. Break out the
it all
confetti
comes
again.
Back to that.
Come on.
It all comes back to the fucking tax returns. What is gonna be the end of this? We find out that he doesn't pay taxes, or that he's.
Oh shit!
We knew this.
Oh fuck!
Joe Biden had to hire 87,000 more IRS agents because it's going to take 87,000 agents to set up a 24-hour, 365-day-a-year watch where all of them just sit and repeatedly kick Donald Trump in the balls.
They're never gonna.
Oh.
They're never going to actually like prosecute him, because if they put him in prison for even a second, or hell, if they give him if they made him wear an anklet for a week, there would be like riots in the streets from a certain group of people.
That's why I don't think they're going to do that. I think, if anything, someone's going to like machinate someone, instead.
No, I don't think it's even going to get that far. I just think
I'm saying that's what happens with presidents instead. Like they don't go to prison. They don't pay for their war crimes. They, happen to be Catholic and enjoy convertibles.
I guess it is very appropriate that it's the FBI getting involved. Well, it's especially interesting because the FBI has always been the thing with Trump, hasn't it? It was Comey originally, and then it was...
How long until Trump does an MLK comparison? How long?
Oh God, don't. Don't. Look, he survived COVID. He's going to catch and survive monkeypox just to say that he did, but he's going to die from Havana syndrome.
Mar-a-Lago, go to the polls. That's going to... see, it just keeps working. It's a timeless thing. And this is something that everyday Americans care about, right? Like, this doesn't reek of political theater with the fact that we just got him again doing some bullshit, and then...
Maybe it's the Camo Crocs talking, but the lamestream news is really pushing this one for some strange reason that I can't quite understand.
I mean, ratings-wise, it's a bonanza. So, like, on a cynical level, I get why. Like, come on. You got to talk about it.
I think letting prices on basic necessities rise by over 10% was totally worth this. I think we all agree that we needed to have that money. We needed to prioritize this above all things. I definitely don't think this is just going to worsen the already deepening polarization. I'm sure we're going to be fine.
Because what happened? We had like the war in Ukraine, which is like a year old now. God,
old news,
baby. Yeah, baby. The war in Ukraine is taking its first steps. Oh, it's so cute. And then like we had everyone got mad at trans people for existing, right? And
you'll find that that's a pretty common.
No. That was just. I'm talking about like a blip on like the mainstream radar.
That's true.
Like of course, it's a large issue. Don't get me wrong.
No. We circle around to that when it gets cold again.
Yeah, and then now it's what was it? What was right before this? God, I had it in my head and I lost it.
There was 8 wildfires. We had the whole heat wave. That was
climate change, inflation. Yeah, the world ending and crumbling around us. But now we get this. We have FBI agents at a golf course, which cool, sweet, and we get a whole bunch of irony. Not poisoned, but it's like the fake irony bros that are
irony
like
pilled.
Well, they're like the Dark Brandon meme, but like
yeah,
it's Biden's director of communications is saying it. So what?
It's irony pilled. It's not even like poisoned. Like these people are not even like doing this as any serious output. It's just a field day on Twitter. It's just the format. The format is we're dunking on Trump.
This is a brand trying to be relatable, is what it feels like. Like Wendy's.
Yeah, brand, the true king. That's right.
Oh God, they could do a Game of Thrones tie-in with House of the Dragon coming out. With Bran the Raven and the Dark Brandon.
It's the pieces are there, but nobody. The discourse is never going to actually find something funny to say about it.
My brain is not broken enough to start making comparisons.
And I
between that cursed show.
I can't turn into Posada's trap god. I'm not cool enough to replace Aaron. And so, these broken thoughts must stay on the podcast.
All right.
Tweet them out into the void. That's the thing that we all need to be doing,
Just yell.
But
yell into
let's
a conch
focus.
shell.
I've decided my Twitter account's going to be Thirst Trap for the next 6 months at least, so that I don't have to think about politics when I get on there.
Motherfucker gets 50 likes on a selfie and starts to become a Thirst Trap account. Okay,
your head's gotten a bit large, buddy. Gotta cut you back down to size.
We're gonna,
Zach is all aware of cutting. It's bulking and cutting. That's like getting faves and retweets, you know?
Yep. Biggest tweet this week on the podcast, so, get at me.
Enough talking about Zach's tries and buys, and let's talk about the LGBTQ brigade, the blocking that's taking place over at a Michigan library, where a town has decided to defund its entire library because they are upset about LGBTQ books. They are basically saying that all of your funding is gone because you're acknowledging the fact that gay people exist in your library. How could you? The grooming that's taking place.
Surprised it wasn't Texas first. Thankful, but surprised.
It is crazy. It's nice to know like there are crazy right-wingers everywhere. It's relatable, you know?
Yeah.
Texas looks at Michigan and is like, damn, just like me, for real, all the time.
Thank God, we'll never get rid of our public infrastructure here in Texas.
No.
Libraries are important to making sure that people without as much opportunity or the ability to simply order their books on Amazon have a place to go and
Texas
read books.
Is smart though, because every governor has a library, and so
you know what?
You can't get rid of the library, otherwise you're trying to get rid of the governor. And
why do you want to get rid of my Ulysses S. Grant National Library?
No,
it's a Northerner. Oh my God! I mean, I'm sorry. No, I don't go to that one. That's the one across town. I go to the Robert E. Lee Library. Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy the Robert E. Lee Library. I want to go inside and see like how they have books broken up.
It's one book. Okay, it's the Robert E. Lee Diary reprint, and they have 10,000 of them.
It's that the director's cut of the Bible.
The director's cut.
Probably some deeply problematic literature.
Probably some deeply problematic literature.
There's a bunch of those paintings of them at the campfire.
Look, Michigan used to be a thriving place, all sorts of industry. Now they're defunding their libraries, so they're reverting back to their hick roots. Meanwhile, here in Texas, another store, the Highway 75 and Regency Lane Starbucks store in Denison, Texas, is filed for unionization. I believe that is number 200.
Hell yeah. Again, it's great that these Starbucks are unionizing all across the board. It's even better that all of the workers are staying strong together. I know that this wasn't the one in Denison, but I saw about where like managers who are at Starbucks are now issuing like fake recordings and things talking about
they're issuing fake statements, and then the recording gets leaked because guess what? Most of these places are like single state recording policy. And so the workers are like, hey, by the way, we recorded that, and she actually, if anything, she assaulted us while we were having a calm conversation about like our raises or something else that happened.
But the manager would never mischaracterize how their employees behave at all.
The federal court is doing the NLRB investigation. Like, they've gone forward with the investigation for Starbucks breaking labor laws after a bunch of managers came down and like cried fucking white woman alligator tears about how violent all of these baristas were being.
Scared. I was.
It's
terrified.
all coming together.
I was there, hiding underneath, underneath the counter when I was just shaking violently. I was reminded of my abusive upbringing as my father suffered from PTSD in Afghanistan. However the fuck that copy pasta.
We don't have time to read their whole statement, Kelton.
And in conclusion, I believe Robert E. Lee did nothing wrong. I just skip forward to the end. I'm sorry. They're in favor of Robert E. Lee because of the concept of unpaid labor. Not
Robert E. Lee is
the name of my psychiatric technician. There's probably a
It's really
Robert
unfortunate.
Lee. Yeah. it's just-
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for your service today as a psychiatric technician.
Oh, goodness. Artemis, what about you? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's really great over here. The Minneapolis Police Department, known for its good public relations skills, has decided to reopen its public affairs. Not sure why they would ever want to do that. And at the same time, they've committed to the use of... They've tried to get basically a court approval for the use of drones.
Fuck yeah.
This comes after a lot of the uprising in 2020 where... Basically, military drones from the National Guard were just flying over the city and taking surveillance of people. So I look forward to filing my next complaint at the DMV with Ed 209.
Again, we're not supposed to be in favor of the police getting these drones. That's not fair. We should instead be allowing Amazon to buy the data for Roombas so they can map out your entire house. That's what
Hey,
needs to
look,
be happening.
if the police used the Roomba data, then maybe those no-knock raids wouldn't be so bloody.
Well,
That's not true.
that
That's just not true. They would...
I like how the optimistic view is that it just wouldn't be a bloody not great instead. You know,
we might live in a hellscape, but maybe it won't be
at
miserable.
least they didn't trip over a dresser as they were shooting an unarmed man while asleep in his bed. It makes all the difference.
But no,
Jesus.
it goes to show that the good old PD around here are very focused on definitely doing good policy and acting in a good way, and definitely not on just finding ways to punish people when they protest and cover their own
like
asses.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. In case it was unclear, they are not asking for clearance to use drones to do fancy shots where they have the camera on the drone and it goes really fast over the crowd and then goes up really high in the sky.
Trying to mimic Netflix's The Gray Man, shot for shot.
Exactly. Yeah. No. They're doing fucking. They're getting military hardware drones that have that traditionally carry those missiles where the katanas come out of them.
Yeah, I was about to say the ones that don't not have guns attached to them.
Listen,
Yeah,
Minnesota is known for our hospitals.
I'm just picturing Minneapolis PD equipping a drone with that missile we used to kill the Al Qaeda leader. You know, the bomb that wasn't a bomb. They're like, no, it's a humane bomb because it has like 6 swords attached to it.
Oh, are we gonna talk about dropping aluminum rods again?
Yeah. Like, no, it's fine. See, it's okay. That's what's happening. That, or we have just drones deciding to kamikaze their way in to protesters, which I'm not sure is better or worse.
I've seen people drive in this city. I don't know if I want to see law enforcement have a drone. I think they would just somehow find a way to cut me off on I-94.
True. No, that's true.
Well, here, let me refocus the story back onto a national headline that I think everyone can relate to. We have some people who are still in school, I think, right? Maybe I'm not
That's
sure.
what they call me.
Textbook publisher Pearson has announced their plans to start selling their textbooks as NFTs. That's right. They're going to sell their textbooks as NFTs so that way then they don't lose out on further profits from secondhand sales that are taking place.
Jesus Christ.
Because that's what I think about with these textbooks is, oh man, how will these companies possibly make money again reselling it?
So Pearson textbooks are published by Prentice Hall, which does elementary, secondary school, college, loose leaf information services, and professional books.
Basically, any any textbook that's not individually published is pretty much done by Pearson.
Or McGraw-Hill. That I do want to make that clarification. We have a 2-party system that exists for our textbook publishing. It's almost like a duopoly, so they can say that it's not technically a monopoly. You know,
After all of the like spring fervor over NFT technology, it is banally evil that this technology that they said would help artists like track their art and like give them ownership over their IP is actually the one that would be used by textbook publishers to keep track of individual copies, unique hashes of each copy of each textbook that leaves their shelves, their virtual shelves now, I guess, and like make sure that nobody is accessing a PDF online for free.
yeah, because that's what we need again, right? If only there was like a physical copy that could then get scanned and then, I don't know, uploaded onto like a bay of some kind of information that was available where people could just access it instead.
Kelton,
Kelton,
what are you talking about?
The Internet Archive, also another like project that should theoretically have been able to take this stuff and just make it available to the public after it's out of copyright or whatever.
Yeah.
But is still in the process of being banned from doing so. So find Tortuga.
I hate these kinds of stories because it's like, isn't this bad? And we're all like, yes,
Yep.
this is bad.
There's a
Like,
simple
anyways,
answer.
moving on. It's just like, can we change it? No, shit is fucked.
Don't
Just
get a
pirate
degree in the
everything.
United States. Just use YouTube because the
Literally-
content is better.
I have a performance review happening tomorrow, and I have successfully lied thus far.
Any
no
good,
one
any good
That was
professor
amazing.
will tell you a way to get your books.
That's true.
Hopefully,
That's true.
you have professors like mine where they just very casually go, "Yeah, there's this source you definitely shouldn't go to. It's called Library Collector." I mean, you never should go there, of course, but
No one, please, at all do that. It's fine. The stuff as it relates as well to like the Internet Archive disappearing and things like that, it doesn't all kind of tie into this massive digital landscape and showing how things are that were once considered institutions could go away in a blip and instead become paywalled even further behind everything.
Hey,
no, not at all.
don't worry. Once we've digitized everything, we'll obviously have a way to access all of it. Obviously, a way that is ethical and available to every citizen everywhere.
That's right.
But
all that
most
data
especially,
will be available everywhere.
It'll be available to every citizen, but it'll be especially available to the police, especially when they go to a company like Facebook and ask for data to prosecute a teenager for abortion.
Fuck, man. That story was brutal. A teenager, 17-year-old, had an abortion at 28 weeks, which even in this, post Roe v. Wade being overturned world is still considered legal in about half the country. So again, in roughly half the country, it's considered not illegal to do. Facebook still gave the police this data so they could then charge a teenager with 2 felonies and her mother with 3 felonies.
Yeah, because she bought medicine online and then disposed of medical waste by
didn't
herself.
even have an actual abortion, like instead bought something which you could legally buy, and then she gave it to her 17-year-old daughter, which, oh no, you can't do, even though I'm not sure how 17-year-olds are supposed to otherwise, but what the fuck ever.
Yeah, I sure am glad. Also, one of the felony charges, removing, concealing a dead human body. It's
Fuck this.
Wait a
it's
minute.
your
Fuck
body. That's your medical waste. Like, if I removed a tumor, is that considered a part of my body?
yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
asshole.
Damn, I can't throw away my own
Stuck
tumor.
with that tumor for 18 years, having to pay child support to yourself. Calling yourself an asshole, going to the custody hearing.
I'm getting a tax write-off for that, child.
You're an unfit tumor donor. The state is going to come and take away your tumor. That's called Medicare for all. That's not going to happen. No.
That's true. That's true.
Reattaching your tumor onto you. Oh, I like that idea more. Yeah, this is bad. Facebook is bad. I don't care about the idea of it could be a diary and share your photo albums. Like that's how it was pitched to all of us rather old people. But man, is it just instead like a giant evidence locker that's all digital. And so it's available everywhere.
Literally. It's never been easier for cops to be incompetent and do zero detective work and then go beg some company that collects way too much data to give them everything that they need.
Please, Facebook, we'll buy space in the metaverse. Please, we'll set up a digital police station there, however the fuck that works.
You can, instead of calling the non-emergency number, you actually have to show up to the metaverse police station.
Hey, yeah, that's how it could work, huh? In the metaverse, you will have healthcare and a functioning police force that isn't equipped with killer drones with chainsaws attached to it.
With chainsaws? Yeah, new Chainsaw Man trailer drops.
Hey, it all ties in.
What is up, beautiful people? It's Zach, and I'm coming to you live from the garage. I wanted to tell you all a secret to improving your deadlift and squat max. The secret is subscribing to our Patreon, like these aesthetic and strong listeners. Scott, Tim, the Warlock Phosphorus, Jorge, Rufus Not a Mole Rat, Eli, Malwin, Dr. Sophia, Tyler, Olive, Lotion Wizard, Lizzie, the Brilliant Dr. Fly, Broobs, ASM Marxist, Dylan, Kira, Cody, Comrade Kometka, Nicole, Pizza Poss, Drew, CJ, Jacob, Philip, and Alex. Thank you all so much for contributing to the garage, and congrats on your gains.
The big story, big news in Texas.
The main meal.
I
the
feel
buffet.
so happy, y'all. Like I was feeling so bad, I was feeling lonely a little bit because I moved away from Houston and into DFW, and I'm like everything feels kind of similar, but it's kind of different. I just need like a shot of like what feels at home. And last year, CPAC was in Houston, and this year, CPAC was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And oh boy, did I feel like I was back in the saddle again, hearing about all this CPAC Texas news. Wow, did y'all see some of the headlines that were coming from it?
Yeah. One of the crazy ladies, they had like the prison cell set up and the dudes in the orange jumper.
MTG, yeah, Magic the Gathering.
That's right.
Yeah, they had the display case available.
Yeah, the display case, and they were displaying the person who's arrested for,
Which it's very cute that they think like a prison would be that sanitary for them.
Or air conditioned.
Yeah, I would actually love it if that was like a bizarre like performance where they're like, yeah, the conditions in these prisons are miserable. We should change. The actor being put in like I don't know, like he was a 13-year-old juvenile delinquent in Texas instead of someone who tried to coup the nation and just stuck in there for 23 hours.
You really could have flipped that whole thing on its head by saying this guy was in here for like a single gram.
If Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, we need to get these people out of the prisons if they have nonviolent drug crimes, we need to defund the FBI, and we need to improve our justice system. It's like, fuck, okay.
You know what?
You're really debating me right here.
Broken clocks here.
Broken clocks. You're really debating me for this. Like, this is really the best that you had is to repeat the lame shit that we say like when we're bored and tired.
Yeah, this is like when they were saying "my body, my choice." Like, I don't like this. You're just co-opting phrases because they're catchy. And you're like, this is what the young people say, so I'm going to do this.
All I'm hearing is that it really was actually catchy and it stuck in your brain long enough for you to be spitting it out now. So we're almost onto something. We've almost made it. The phrases have almost caught up to them now. We're only 6 years behind. They're only 6 years behind the phrasing,
Yeah, I mean, when they're having conventions, when they're having panels at the convention with titles like "We are all domestic terrorists," which what's a worse title, the "We are all domestic terrorists," or like I think it was 2 weeks ago at the Houston Anime Convention, where it was like "How to get a baddie," how to get a convention baddie,
How to talk to convention baddies.
That's right. Okay, yeah. Which one is a
One
worse
of these
How to
is
talk to
a
CPAC
crime.
baddies.
Yeah.
One of these is a crime.
Hey girl, are you the tax bracket? Because I want to
Cringe
down it.
is not illegal. Domestic terrorism is illegal.
They should have just said we are cringe.
I would that would be more acceptable.
That would have been.
It's just as funny that they're like, no, we're not actually domestic terrorists. We're just being tongue in cheek about it. And then they're like Proud Boys just walking all around CPAC. And you're like, I mean, like you're not again. Like
You're
there's
not a
drones
domestic
with guns.
terrorist.
That kind of thing. And then my favorite thing, and this I don't think gets talked about a lot, is that at CPAC they do straw polls. Like they get a feel for what the vibe is like among the audience, and those are my favorite because all of the news sources will say like this isn't representative of the conservative party at large. Like this isn't what every Republican stands for. It's like motherfucker, it is what they are going to stand for in 4 years from now. Like they're setting the platform up right now. And so they were asked whether or not internal forces such as the deep state, public education, and the mainstream media, or external forces such as Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea were a greater threat to America. And the CPAC attendees, in a 91% majority, said that they were more worried about internal forces. Mainstream media, the deep state, public education.
Gen Z is gonna, inherit a world where we finally stop doing all these proxy wars, but at what cost?
I mean, it doesn't help that TikTok Gen Zers are talking about like how reading is ableist, and then their conservative parents are like, "Yeah, we don't want you going to school anyway." So, like, it's not quite working out.
Oh yeah, have y'all seen the TikToks now? Where all the hippie Gen Z kids with like hippie moms and moms that didn't vax them or growing up and like coming out and being like, "Yeah, actually, I had to get all my vaccines in secret." And my mother never treated me with medicine for anything. And discovering that painkillers exist was amazing.
Hell
and then
yeah,
all the girls with like that were like, oh yeah, I need to go see a doctor for like, and I found out I had like ovary cancer for 10 years, and that's why I was in pain for 6 months out of the year or something.
No,
it's like
Mercury was in retrograde or whatever the fuck is happening.
Literally, like their mothers would do astrology and hold crystals over them, and that was it.
Astrology, GF, January 6th cosplay.
Those are the quirky like goth girls that we caught the tail end of. Like we caught the tail end of those in 2013.
We are the younger sisters of the quirky GFs that you couldn't date. Yes, okay, great. A strong rallying cry among them all. I don't know if y'all remember my number one fantasy pick, the overseas player with a lot of potential, Hungarian leader Viktor Orban, declared at CPAC that a Christian politician cannot be racist. And if someone has doubts whether progressive liberals and communists are the same, just ask us Hungarians. We fought them both, and I can tell you they are the same.
That was also his argument for why the illegal Israeli occupation of Palestine is actually not racism.
You see, yeah, that
because
is
they're
kind of
Christians.
how it works. Yeah,
I don't think
they're
we
Christians,
can trust. I don't think we can trust the Hungarians.
Listen, I was all for like Hungarian racism 2 weeks ago, and y'all backed off on that.
Remind me when. I'm gonna have to ask Viktor Orban to remind me what the nation of Hungary was doing from 1940 to 1945. I will hold for questions.
They were like the minions. They were all living in caves.
They were in ice.
Another straw poll happened, and they said 69%, which, first off, nice. The audience said that they would prefer Trump to be president, and then 24% said that they would prefer Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And then what feels like a massive course correction, they also were then polled that if Trump was not running for president, who would they want? And 65% said that they wanted DeSantis. So, it is clear to me that Trump is the 1A, but DeSantis is the 1B here.
In Texas, I think that nationally Trump is actually behind
in
DeSantis.
Texas and Florida.
It's literally just asking Coke or Pepsi. I mean, what the fuck?
Those are both Cokes.
No, I mean, it's the same shit. It's the same shit.
Yeah, they're both Cokes.
It's Coke and Diet Coke. Diet Coke is Trump because he goes through 8 of them a day.
Oh.
And somehow hasn't died.
Oh, well, that's not fat shit.
I'm not fat shaming. How is that fat shaming? He drinks a lot of Diet Coke. That was a famous fact.
A large amount of Diet Coke.
He doesn't like the
he's just
taste
like me
of
for
water.
real.
It's okay. I'm not fat shaming him for it. I just think that that's insane.
He's just like me for real.
Me for real.
In one small bit of justice, only 2% of the straw poll voted for Ted Cruz's
in Texas.
Voted for Ted Cruz's promise to, quote, fight the barbarians.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that fucking frog, man. God.
Everyone hates.
Does he think he's
Ted
a Roman
Cruz.
senator?
Yes.
I genuinely think that he is trying to pivot into the idea of being I'm just a good old boy deep from the South, blah blah blah.
He wants to get on the Joe Rogan show so badly.
No, he's trying to become what John Cornyn is. He was trying to flirt with the hardcore right wingers. He was trying to have that Dan Crenshaw vibe. Only he just fucking sucks.
That Dan Crenshaw vibe.
That dang Crenshaw.
The dang Scrimshaw, indeed. And so he's realizing he can't pull off that, but he's not an establishment Republican. And so instead, he's just needs to be the rallying cry guy in the Senate, which is the lamest thing he can be. But he still has to have all of that tough guy rhetoric, even though he's just a worm of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. This is what Texas has to offer. It's wonderful. But Trump did speak at CPAC. So again, Trump spoke at CPAC, and then within 48 hours, Mar-a-Lago was stormed. Investigations took place. So who knows? Maybe it's because Trump was talking too much truth to power.
Or you get a 13 hours documentary of Trump on stage exuberant, expected nothing that would happen over the next 24 hours.
13 hours, the secret speeches of Benghazi.
The secret speeches of CPAC 2022 Dallas.
And a speech no one wanted you to watch. Insert all of the different camera angles, everyone having their phones out with Trump talking.
all of the
covering it,
cosplayers
OAN
there.
covering it, CNN covering it, Fox News covering it. Yeah.
What happened to their footage? It was broadcast, but nobody could see it. It wasn't pushed on any of the major platforms.
Nobody watched.
The FANG companies want to choke us out. They want to take our content and they want to deprioritize it in the algorithm.
It's just insane to me, what Trump is talking about, because he's calling for a purge of all of the corrupt civil servants. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education because of critical race theory, which I think is cute that he's picking up on that. He's that's what the people like to hear. Awesome, yeah.
He's
critical
picking
race
up new
theory.
bits. It's
Let me read this a little bit to help flavor. When he says he wants to purge them of corrupt civil servants, he wants to replace them with MAGA loyalists.
Good.
When he wants to abolish the Department of Education, he said he wants to smash the educational establishment and ban critical race theory. He wants to be ruthless in going after the censorship regime of social media companies.
Censorship regime.
Didn't it just come out that he said some shit about German generals and wanting
a lot of respect for him,
he was talking. German generals was the name of his psychiatric technician. You have to be a little more understanding.
Sorry, German generals. Today is your day. today's your day. You are the psychiatric technicians in this, what I assume is a garage where we talk to the psychic dolphin right here.
Welcome back to psychiatric dolphin garage. This is an intervention.
Jesus Christ, I've
we
been doing
can be
drugs
fun
for too
about it.
long. Yeah. We can be fun about it. We have to seize the opportunity that we have to deal with the radical left socialist lunatic fascists. The radical left socialist lunatic fascists.
Hell yeah.
They're just using words.
That
At
sounds
this
like
point,
it sounds like a
Words
ska
mean
band.
things, you know?
the nation doesn't belong to the left. It belongs to you. This is your country defended with your own blood and built with your own hands.
Oh, man.
Which
Oh, my ears.
middle
The
class
dog
white
whistling. Oh, no.
Which middle class white people's children died in the military for this country?
Those fuckers on that stage couldn't build a deck, much less
It's
build
the
this
husband
one.
and wife brandishing firearms in front of
They
their
can
house,
barely
you know?
put together one
They
of those
couldn't even
above
build a
ground
decent
pools.
posture.
You can't even build a wall.
Can't even build muscle. See, this is why the CPAC people don't get onto Joe Rogan.
True.
I don't like Joe Rogan a lot, just in general, but I do think it is funny how Joe Rogan has had to clarify, being like, yeah, no, Trump wanted to come on. I don't want that. I know my ratings.
The problem, Joe Rogan doesn't want to be known as the Trump guy, because once you are, then you either have to be 100% a Trump guy or 0% a Trump guy.
Yeah, and he's like, what are all the Trump guys doing right now? Getting sued in Texas like Alex Jones, or selling out T-shirts like Steven Crowder.
Joe Rogan is happy sitting on his throne, his little pile of Spotify money. We are real individuals that you can call in or email. You can ask us questions. You can join our Discord and ask us questions there, much like this listener has asked us a question.
Yeah, they say, everyone on the pod is now in relationships. How did you all meet your other half? Which, so cute, so cool.
Are we at a family gathering right now?
I think it's important that, like, your partner's grandmother has emailed in to ask how you two met. Again, I suggest that we just lie, I think
Tinder. We were both so horny.
We were both at IRA summer camp. You win a car.
The Infrastructure
At the end.
Reform Act, summer camp. Wow, so cool, so trendy.
That's so cool, Artist. That's almost better than meeting at the Model UN
Polycule
camp
that
that
took
I
place.
was.
Yeah.
There's not. It's
The Model UN Polycule.
bastards.
Jesus
You
Christ.
defamed me.
Well, I mean, again, prove us wrong. But, I think as we are building back up the show canon that exists, let me ask, is it not more entertaining to envision a Model UN Polycule and, the theater kid energy that comes from that?
Well, okay, if a theater kid and Model UN is a really, really bad mix. You gotta understand.
What one dead-eyed theater kid is like, I'm going as Hungary. I know what I have to do.
It's okay. I'm Christian.
I'm Christian. I can use that word.
Learning slurs in Hungarian just so.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, send us a question on Hungarian if you know it, and we will do our best to decipher it, and then find you
ask
and
us,
block
take
you on
questions,
every.
I think, instead of relationship questions, because
Ask us.
I think it's cool,
if you
but,
want to get to know us better, join the Discord, because that's
Here's the deal.
Smooth,
Yes, join
smooth.
the Discord. If you're gonna ask a question, which a lot of questions have been very good so far, it's gonna be a take question, or if you want an advice question, have it be on organizing or something.
Yeah.
That's something we have genuine stuff in, and
Not how could I get girls to like me?
how
know?
did you? I don't know how to get you
Or
baddies at the
boys,
convention.
or
I
boys.
don't know how to get you baddies.
We can't. We cannot help. We are but dumb himbos on this.
I cannot
Himbos,
emphasize
bimbos,
enough.
and dimbos. Okay.
I don't know how to get you baddies. I
I-
don't know what to do for you.
I do actually think that would be funny if we just looked up like what the most ridiculous panel rooms were, and just answered those questions to the best of our abilities.
That would be a great Patreon episode, which you can listen to at patreon.com/psychicdolphingarage. Remember to rate this episode on whatever platform you're listening on, be that Spotify, iTunes, or whatever podcatcher you prefer.
Yeah, fuck yeah, we're gonna go hop over there. So bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Solidarity, all in together for the clan.